On the way to school, I walk, take the tram, take the metro, then walk again. It is quite the journey when you consider my commute to class at home is a 7-minute beeline from my dorm room at 8:23 in the morning for my class at 8:30. My journey typically begins by putting my headphones in and selecting the Discover Weekly playlist on Spotify. I step out of the front door ready to take on the pickpockets, cute dogs that I cannot touch, and the typical crowds of public transportation. I board the tram, continue to the metro, then walk 13 minutes through the 13th century fortress to get to class. After 3 hours of trying to concentrate in class, the way home is just as monotonous. Except when I get to Ipe Pavlova. The best part about this place is the ads. There are 4 big boards hanging on the structure where people wait for the tram. Occasionally, there are even figures on the top of the structure or special features. Every 3 weeks, the boards change and new figures go up. The first week was a human-sized spoon with a dollop of yogurt on it to promote a random Greek yogurt brand. The second time, there was an odd piece of pizza with eyelashes. Then, there was a big Orbit ad. The ad had a clock that counted down to when free gum dispensed. My childlike demeanor always comes out when I see the clock. I think, will it be time for free gum? I wonder what happens when the timer gets to 0. How many pieces come out of the dispenser? Wow, am I hungry. Full of amazement, on a Wednesday afternoon around 3 p.m., the clock ran down to 0. At that moment, 3 packages of gum came to the opening in a rather anticlimactic manner. Perhaps those around me could sense my American giddiness, but none of them reached for the free gum. They all just looked at me. However, that was until I heard an aged, deep voice begin speaking to me. In fact, he was speaking, but in Czech. This wrinkled man, swallowed by a caramel trench coat, leaning against his mass-produced cane, smiled at me as he took breaths in between his sentences. As he continued discussing something that may have been very important, I looked in my hand, took one of the 3 free gum packages from the dispenser, and extended it to him. My dopey smile or the thought of free gum excited him too. He laughed, but more of a giggle, and proceeded to have a one-sided discussion with me. As my shrugs, smiles, and eyebrow raises were my input to what may have been a very interesting discussion, our tram arrived. My new friend and I had to part. We looked each other in the eye. I saw my makeup-stained bags and the reflection of his crystal blue irises. That moment of serenity penetrated through the language barrier, the sexist nature of the Czech Republic, the elderly hierarchy of the former Eastern Bloc, and even my Americanness. I saw him, and he saw me, as simply amused children getting some free gum.